Good morning, this is Jim, 5714 Collector. It's Sunday morning, and it's time for part number 30 of the 1972 Topps baseball card set. And pretty excited about this one. We got a Hall of Famer here. I'll show you that. It's card number 400. It's Tony Oliva. And we got some, one team card and some really good players here and all that. So I thought, let's get this thing rolling this morning. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday. Look forward to doing this series. It's always a lot of fun doing a little bit of research. I'm wearing my Reindeer Studios 72 shirt. So anyway, you guys, I hope everybody has a great day. So let's get started with card number 397. That's the Phillies team card. Love these cards. And there's the back. So pretty cool. It's the normal back for the cards and all that, but still I just love these team cards and all that. They are so cool looking. So let's talk about the Phillies from 1971. I went back and looked up some of their information. They finished last in the National League East that season. They were 67-95. And what's interesting is the following year is, of course, when Carlton, in 1972, Carlton won 27 games. They actually had a worse record. They only won 59 games. So that's kind of interesting. Willie Montanez, he finished second in the Rookie Year voting that season. He finished second to Earl Williams. He led the Phillies in RBIs. He had 99. Darren Johnson, their first baseman, he led the team in home runs with 34. So pretty good year. Rick Wise won 17 games with the team. That tells you how good Rick Wise was as a pitcher. And cool thing about it, he hit 6 home runs that season. And he had 97 at-bats. You would think that they would maybe consider taking and pinch hitting him once in a while, because that's a pretty good season for a pitcher and all that. So, not sure if he ever pinch hit. I would probably have to do some further research on that. But, I've seen Madison Bumgarner pinch hit when he was, not playing and all that. So, it'd be kind of cool to, see how that would be. So, card number 398, Larry Hisle, here with the Dodgers. If I remember correctly, when I was reading SABR in the bullpen review on Baseball Reference, which I want to thank again, as I do every week, I do not think Larry ever played a game with the Dodgers, but I'd have to double check. But here he is with the Dodgers. Of course, the famous photo of them looking up and all that. And here's the back of Larry's card. He had some really good seasons also with Milwaukee and Minnesota. So let's put him over there. So he signed with the Phillies in August of 1965 for a reported $40,000 to $60,000 range. So a nice little signing bonus for Larry Hisle. He hit his first Major League home run on April 21st, 1969. That came against Gary Gentry in the New York Mets. He finished 4th in the Rookie of the Year balloting in 1969, I believe. I remember right, not 1970. I believe it was 1969. On June 4th, 1976, Larry became the 3rd player in Twins history to hit for the cycle. That's pretty cool. After the 77 season, Larry signed with the Brewers for 6 years and $3 million. Think about that for a minute, how much salaries are these days. He hit .290 that season. He had 34 home runs and 115 runs batted in. He finished 3rd in MVP voting. So very good season for Mr. Hisle. Early in the 1979 season, he suffered a torn rotator cuff injury, and that eventually led to his retirement. But go back and take a look at Larry Hisle's stats and all that when you get some time. Very good ball player. And it's a shame the injury bug hit him so hard. But very good ball player nevertheless. So card number 399 is Milt Wilcox. He came up with the Reds back, I think, in 1970, if I remember correctly. Here's the back of Milt's card. And he had a very good career, too. So he made his debut with the Reds on September 5th, 1970 against San Diego. He beat the Padres 6-2, and he pitched 5 innings that afternoon. He won the clinching game of the 1970 National League Championship Series. He gave up 1 hit and struck out 5 in 3 innings of relief. So very good performance for Mr. Wilcox. Milt won 10 or more games, and that was with Detroit. Sorry, dropped my index card this morning. With the Tigers from 1978 up through 1984. He was 17-8 with the World Champs in 1984. And he won Game 3 of the '84 World Series against San Diego. He beat him 5-2. So, very nice career. Won over 100 games. So, very good ball player. And I went to look up card number 400, which let me just show you, Tony Oliva. And you talk about a guy that had a great career. This is the guy. And it was a shame that he did not get elected to the Hall of Fame until 2022, because I know a lot of people really thought he should have been elected sooner, because he had a fantastic career. But of course, he had knee injuries and knee issues and knee surgeries and all that. But what a great player, a great hitter, a great right fielder, just hampered by injuries like so many of these poor players are. But Tony Oliva had a great career. Won 3 batting titles, which I wrote down here. He won one his rookie year and his sophomore year too. So that was pretty cool. He won back-to-back freshman and sophomore years in the majors. So that's pretty cool. He led the American League in runs scored, hits, doubles, batting average, and total bases in his rookie season with the Twins in 1964. Pretty impressive. He was the American League Rookie of the Year. Yeah, go figure. He should be, right? Like I said, he won 3 American League batting titles. He hit a home run off Don Drysdale in Game 4 of the '65 World Series. So that's kind of cool. On June 9th, 1966, Tony and 4 teammates became the first players in history to hit 5 home runs in an inning. That's pretty cool. I love that kind of stat. He hit the first home run as a DH on April 7, 1973. So that's a cool distinction. He led the American League in hits 5 times, and he had a .304 lifetime batting average. And the funny thing about that .304 average, that came during the time frame when pitching was very dominant. That was in the mid to late 60s and all that. I'm thinking to myself, what would he have hit if it was tilted a little bit more in favor of the hitter like it is, like they try to do nowadays? And batting averages are down again because pitching is so dominant and the starters go 5 or 6 innings. I was watching the Orioles-Pirates game the other night. Paul Skeens threw 64 pitches, I think, in 5 innings. He'd given up like 2 hits, no runs, and they pulled him after 5. I'm going, why would you pull him? Why not let him throw another 20 or 30 pitches? I don't understand the logic that the managers and the general managers and the teams use nowadays with the starting pitchers. You got a guy like Skeens, as great as he is, pitching 5 or 6 innings. Come on, we can do a little bit better, I think. But just my opinion. Card number 401 is Jim Nash here with the Braves. A very nice looking card. We'll talk about Mr. Nash. He made his major league debut with the Kansas City Athletics on July 3rd, 1966 against the Tigers. He pitched 6 1/3 innings, and he got the win. He beat he beat the Tigers 10-4. So pretty good game there for his debut. He went 12-1 with a 2.06 ERA during his rookie season. So fantastic rookie season. In 1968, Jim was 13-13 with a 2.28 ERA, and he threw 6 shutouts. That's really impressive when you think about it. His lifetime record was 68 wins and 64 losses. So, very nice career for Mr. Jim Nash. So card number 402 is Bobby Heiss. I hope I'm saying that right. Here with Milwaukee. Show the back of that. Of course, they use that blue border, so they get the color match on them really, really good. Let's talk about Bobby a little bit. He made his debut with the Mets on September 12th, 1967. He started at second base and went 1 for 4, and his first major league base hit was a single. He hit his only home run on June 30th, 1970 off of Danny Coombs. So 1 major league home run in his career. That's all right. That's cool. Very interesting stat. He played on the pennant-winning Red Sox in 1975. Bob did not play in the Championship Series or the World Series. He did play 11 major league seasons, and he hit .247 lifetime, which that's pretty good. That's pretty impressive. Card number 403 is John Cumberland. That's a pretty cool looking card. Here with the Giants. And we'll talk about John here in a second. He made his debut with the Yankees in 1968, and he pitched in 1 game. Interesting. He was the losing pitcher in Game 2 of the 1971 National League Championship Series against the Pirates. He pitched 3 innings and gave up 3 earned runs. He was 9-6 for the Giants in 1971. He appeared in 45 games. And also he had 2 shutouts and 2 saves and an ERA of 2.92. He played 6 Major League Baseball seasons, and he was 15-16 lifetime in 110 games, and his ERA was 3.82. So card number 404 is Jeff Torborg. I'm going to talk about him here in a little bit. Of course, he caught one of Ryan's no-hitters, and he was a Major League manager also. Show the back of Jeff's card. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a neat shot, though. I like that. Let's see. Jeff signed a $100,000 bonus contract with the Dodgers on May 23rd, 1963. Whew, pretty impressive. That's pretty cool. He caught Sandy Koufax's perfect game and last no-hitter on September 9th, 1965. That is pretty awesome to be the guy that caught Koufax's last no-hitter / perfect game. On July 20th, 1970, Jeff caught Bill Singer's no-hitter. The Dodgers beat the Phillies 5-0, so there's no-hitter number 2. And then, like I said, he caught Nolan Ryan's first no-hitter on May 15th, 1973 against the Royals. So think about that you caught 3 no-hitters, including a perfect game, from 2 Hall of Famers and 1 very, very good pitcher in Bill Singer. He played 10 years in the majors with a .214 batting average and 1,525 at-bats. And he also managed 11 seasons. So very good managing career, playing career is pretty awesome. So the next to the last card this morning is Ron Fairly here with the Expos. Of course, he came up with the Dodgers and had a very good career. He played like 20 years in the majors. So he had a long career, Ron did. There's the back of Ron's card. That's pretty cool. We'll talk about Mr. Fairly a little bit. So he signed with the Dodgers in 1958 for $75,000. He took less money to play for the Dodgers and signed with them because that was his hometown club. He got offers from, I think, the White Sox for $100,000. But he wanted to stay in California, Southern California. And he signed with the hometown team. So that's pretty cool. On September 10th, 1958, in Ron's second Major League game, he got his first Major League hit off of future Hall of Famer Robin Roberts. Ron is one of several players to play and win a College World Series and a World Series. So that's pretty cool. And I think that was back-to-back. With he signed with the Dodgers in 58. He played with the club in 59. So right out of college, USC won the College World Series in 58. And Ron played with them. After the season was over, he signed with the Dodgers. And then in 59, of course, the Dodgers beat the White Sox. So back-to-back College World Series champion and Major League Baseball World Series champion. So that's pretty awesome. I wonder how many times that's been done. But Ron Fairly is one of them. He's the only player to appear in an All-Star game with both Canadian franchises, Montreal and Toronto. So pretty cool trivia. There's one for your grandkids one day. So the last card this morning is George Hendrick here with the A's. Of course, he had some great years with Indians. He also played with the Cardinals, had some great years with them, and just had a solid career, George Hendrick did. And there's the back. So let's talk about Mr. Hendrick a little bit. So he got a base hit in his first Major League game for the Oakland A's that came on June 4th, 1971 against the Senators. In the 1980 World Series, playing for St. Louis, he went 9 for 28, and he also drove in what proved to be the winning run in the 7th game of the World Series that year when they beat Milwaukee. So that's pretty cool. And I went back in and looked at that box score, and I said, that's pretty awesome. He had the game-winning RBI. Of course, they scored a couple more runs, but his was the decisive one. He hit 267 Major League home runs and had 1,980 Major League base hits. So very good, solid career for George Hendrick. And that's where we'll end it this morning at card number 406. So we are past the halfway point, so that's pretty cool. So I'm thinking to myself, looks like we got about 38 more of these to go. So I'm trying to do about 10 a week. I think that's plenty and all that. And like I said, it takes some time to get everything, I read up on SABR, the bullpen review. I check Wikipedia. So I'm looking at all those, and then I come up with a few highlights for each of these players. These players deserve well more than what I'm giving them, but I try to keep the videos, within that 15, 20-minute range and all that. So anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed this part of the series of the 72 Top Set. I hope everybody has a great Sunday, and we'll see you later on in the week then. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.